Let me explain to you what anxieties are. And this word is so absolutely culturally contemporary. In the day of panic attacks and anxiety and stress and sleeplessness, these things are oftentimes not conditions to be managed, but sins to be repented of. Explain to you how for some, and I know there are medical circumstances for some people's anxieties. I'm not talking about those. I believe that for many, if not most people, their anxieties are the result of sin. Anxiety works this way. You are aspiring to two attributes of God: to be all-knowing, omniscient, and sovereign, in control. Omniscient meaning you're trying to predict the future. Something bad may happen, and you're trying to predict it. And you're stressed out about it and freaked out about it and running worst-case scenarios about it, trying to figure, well, if they do this, I'll do that, and if this happens, I'll do this, and then this will happen, and then this will lead to this. This is what I do. Right? When I go beautiful mind on grace, this is how I freak out. This is how I freak out. Oh, if this happens, then I'll do this, and they'll do this, and they'll say this, and I'll need this, and then this will happen, and I'll write this press release, and then I'll be in the fetal position, but only for a week. That's where I go. Okay? And I start running all the contingency plans of everything that could potentially happen, because what I'm trying to be is all-knowing. And then sovereign, meaning, well, I'll control what happens. I'll control the future. You know what? We're not omniscient. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know how it's all going to go. And secondly, we're not sovereign. You can't control the future. And those who want to be omniscient and sovereign experience internally anxiety because they're not God. They can't do it. So it leads to depression and despair and panic attacks and freaking out and anxieties. Say, well, how can humility help with anxiety? Well, humble people know God's omniscient. I'm not. God's sovereign. I'm not. So what I'm going to do, rather than trying to be all-knowing and sovereign, I'm going to cast my anxieties on Him because I trust that He cares for me. God, I am worried about this. I am stressed about this. I am concerned about this. There's nothing I can do about this. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how I'm supposed to respond. But God, keep me close to you. For some of you, if not many of you, anxieties are not things you need to manage. They're sins you need to put to death. Anxiety is a sin, oftentimes. So you cast your anxieties on Him. You confess your anxieties to Him as a sin. And you trust that He will care for you. That He does know the future. That He is sovereign over it. That He does care for you. And that He will take care of you, one way or the other. That helps internally. Humility helps internally.